And we welcome you to the Sydney Football Stadium for the opening to round 14, and indeed the opening to the back half of the Telstra Premiership. Dragons up against the Sharks, and when they met in round 1, it was the Dragons 30 points to 6 at Toyota Park. The Sharks have been most disappointing. They've won only 1 of their last 6 games, and last weekend they struggled to get 1 point out of that encounter against the West Tigers, whereas this team, St George Illawarra, were very good against the Dogs. And if you use Canterbury as the yardstick, you'd have to be thinking the Red and Whites will again defeat the Sharks here in round 14.
And just the one change to the 17 that were successful last week. Roberts as fullback, Blacklock and Jamie Ainscough makes his return tonight. Gasnier and McGregor the centre pairing. Trent Barrett at 5'8", Willie Peters at half. Hart locks the scrum behind Tracy, Lance Thompson, who captains the side. Ward, Riles, Riddell the front row. And on the bench, Stapleton, Fitzgerald, Hookie and Bartram, coached by Andrew Farah.
And the Sharks tonight, Mostyn at fullback, Gross and Best on the wings, Mello and Richardson in the centres. Adam Dykes is the 5'8". Preston Campbell in great form at halfback. Ryan Long, Stewart the back row. Jason Stevens the captain. Marty Lang's the other prop. Dean Treaster. And the interchange of Beattie, Pearce, McNicholas and Ferris, coached by John Lang.
Sharks then running from left to right. And it's going to be the Red and Whites of St George. Bringing it back through Colin Ward. Tremendous go forward from both of those players. And a tremendous run by Russell Richardson. I thought it might carry him all the way. It's play on. They're going to score. The Sharks go in to score. It is Brent Gross who puts it over the line.
And how often in a game of rugby league, when all the attack is at one end of the field, all of a sudden at the other end, the side that's been under pressure puts on the points. That's the man there, Russell Richardson.
In fact, I think that was against the Dogs only a couple of weeks ago. Now Campbell, it's good. Further 2 points to the Sharks. So a converted try. The Sharks over St George Illawarra 6-0. Peters, Barrett. Thompson runs a decoy. They find Gasnier. Gasnier's got Barrett inside him. Barrett's got players in support. Roberts and Peters. Peters with the ball. That was good attack by St George Illawarra. Blacklock. Barrett now. Barrett around the back of Hart, picking up Tracy. Tracy finding McGregor. McGregor gets away from Treaster. Down the line goes Ainscough. Ball goes over the sideline. Just got a little bit of cover from a decoy run from Nathan Long. Here's Ferris out from dummy half using Dykes. Dykes tries to give it to Campbell. It goes loose and Tracy runs across towards McGregor's wing. And he's made a tremendous run. Darren Tracy with a 30-metre run. Bloated, I know where the centre and winger got to, but Tracy, he could have used them. Now Thompson. Gasnier. 5 metres from the Sharks try line. From Roberts now, finding Barrett. Barrett for Riles. And it's Blacklock looking for another. I think he got it there. Blacklock's done it again. Well, he's chasing some wonderful records. Benny Waring, his name comes to mind from back in the 20s era for leading try scorer 3 years in a row. Bartram is taking the conversion. It is successful. Converted try, St George Illawarra, 6-all after 25 minutes. Peters goes into dummy half, running across towards Andrew Hart, and there's a penalty against the Sharks. Again, they're inside the 10. Now, Riddell. And straight between the uprights. The Red and Whites, they lead by 2 points after half an hour. I just wonder whether they will need to use Treaster again tonight. The kick is looking for Campbell, but he got a checkered passage and he gets a penalty. Where the ball landed, and that's right in front, 20 metres out.
You see Paul Simpkins, the motion there, that player moved, dropped his shoulder into Preston Campbell, impeded his chase. Dragons will be very disappointed because the kick had gone too deep anyway, and Mark Riddell is actually the man who's called on Adam Dykes.
Jason Ferris is the kicker, and the goal is there. So further 2 points racked up for the Sharks. 8-all after 38 minutes. Tracy was the major tackler. And now Dykes, his kick in the air. And, oh, Roberts, it goes off him. Roberts has gone back after it. It's come down for Ferris. It is still play on. The siren sounding again. They're going for the line. They're going to make it. The Sharks, no, hold it. Touch judge with the flag up.
Well, they're going to have a look at it. This will be the freakiest try you'd ever see before halftime. This one, unbelievable stuff from the Sharks.
Adam Dykes is a man who takes the last pass. And it comes from that man, Colin Best, who is hit. He is out. It will be no try. Good call from the touchy.
And here's a referee that's gone to the video to basically double-check his touch judge. I've got no drama with it, but I always thought that matters of touch were totally in the domain of the touch judge. And the referee really had no call on it. It is 8-all, though, and a most interesting battle going on here between the Dragons and the Sharks. Ferris. And Preston Campbell's over. Campbell's in. Well, they went up very fast. I saw Lance Thompson out of the corner of my eye go up very, very fast. And when you go up in this broken line and you've got somebody like Campbell, that was the exchange. It went all over the place. A real duel, aren't they? Blacklock and Campbell. Try converted. Matt Rogers is all smiles. 35 metres out from the line. Ferris. Campbell. Catch, kick, and Colin Best. Colin Best. He's over the line for a try. Well, that is just amazing. Ferris there. And hitting the upright, bouncing away. So the Sharks failing to convert, but a nice lead of 10 points after 53 minutes. Bartram's pass, finding Peters. Peters for Barrett. Barrett away from McGregor. He's in a big hole. McGregor's over. McGregor gets the St George Illawarra side back into the game.
Let's just have a look how this unfolds from Trent Barrett. So look at the defence. It comes from now as we freeze it there. You can see great bodies in motion. This is the man who Barrett's looking to isolate as the play continues. The ball goes behind that man, and Paul McGregor, he had a lot of space to work in, unstoppable from there.
And wonderful to see him amongst the tries. Paul McGregor, Wayne Bartram converts. Now it's a 4-point ball game. 58th minute of the game. Grits the teeth and tries to build up speed. Tackled near the halfway line. The Sharks leading by 4. And Mellor got around the outside of the halfback. Support on the inside. And Mostyn goes down there to score. Damien Mostyn scores. And the Sharks go to 22-14.
And it may be trying to keep the defensive load off the halfback, but it also makes them vulnerable for mine. We freeze it there. You can see Willie Peters up against a much bigger man in Paul Mellor. He gets on the outside with his hip, bumps him off, or actually back on the inside, but beats him cold, and then a real lack of cover defence. In fact, the Dragons not showing any great urgency to get back at all, and Damien Mostyn, don't know about the celebrations that far out, but he does get a very important 4 points.
Of all the positions on the field to defend, the centres is the hardest, no doubt about it. They've got so much room to cover. And on this occasion, little Willie Peters, he's been out there all night, but Paul Mellor just had a little bit too much room to move around in. He's about 16 stone, Willie's about 5, and he beat him quite easily.
I'd be happy to cop a tweet.
Well, mate, the funny thing about this game is it can come back and bite you. I think we had Chris Walker early in the year celebrating, got the ball. Conversion was successful.
Well, Campbell converts. Again, they lead by 10. Need to get the ball wide early, and look at Campbell. Campbell with some space to work in. Campbell's inside 20, kicks ahead. Blacklock's there. And Blacklock takes it in touch, in goal.
And the Dragons' defence just presented that hole for Preston Campbell to run into.
And he's pulled down 8 metres away from the line on tackle 5. Blacklock, a handoff out to Fitzgerald. They got them outnumbered. They're over. Roberts has scored. Wide out on the eastern side.
Well, they keep their hopes alive, the Dragons, and they've just executed it well on the far side, taking advantage of the overlap. Blacklock looking to do something himself, made sure he kept the ball alive. Very poor defence out there between Gross and Richardson.
The big names of rugby league that have worn this jumper. Now Bartram from 8 metres in, looks okay, he got it. The Forest Gumpers got it from the sideline nearly. 24-20. Now Lang. They are 12 metres away from the line. Penalty. And I mentioned earlier that they are negotiating for Stadium Australia. Campbell gets the 2 points from the penalty, extending the lead to 26 points to 20 now. 2 metres out from the line. Thompson, back it comes for Barrett. Barrett for Blacklock, he'll score! Blacklock gets number 2. Oh, what a combination. Barrett and Blacklock, and the Dragons will draw the game. Look at Nathan. Well, I can't hear you.
Now Trent Barrett takes it, as we freeze it there. That's Nathan Blacklock. He's actually called the play, and as play continues, he's called for this kick.
There it goes, disappearing into the southern stand. 26 all. The red and white army, they love it.
The Dragons were down and out with 10 to play. The Sharks, well, they have lifted their performance tonight compared to what we've seen. Big tackle by Mellor. Can the Dragons get close enough for a point? I don't think so.
Barrett comes back to the blind side using McGregor, and McGregor is taken by Colin Best. They've still got 2. Siren sounding. Simpkins calls a halt. Magnificent contest. It ended at 26 all. This was the try that led to it. Wonderful understanding. Barrett and Blacklock. Blacklock gets his 2nd try of the night. And one man that would be breathing a hell of a lot easier now would be the Dragons captain. Look at Nathan. He pointed to the army, and then I think he said, "I can't hear you." But he loves his football, and he's had another magnificent game. I can't hear you.